Okay, so actually before we start anything, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So as you may know, my name is Susanne and I'm the Training and Development Consultant at DiscoverChange Limited. Now, I'm not sure if you already are thinking, where is her accent from? Now, my accent is, well, guess what? I'm not sure what you say. Most people think I'm South African for some reason. And actually, I've met a lot of South Africans. And to be honest, the accent sounds very similar. I'm actually from Finland originally. So just there, Northern Europe, the country of the midnight summer, midnight sun. So this literally is taken from my backyard around June, around 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So you can imagine it's a land of beauty. It's Scandinavia in general is absolutely magnificent, extraordinary nature. But I have to say, since I was a kid, I've always been such an adventurous person and a really social person as well. And I'm not sure if you know any Finnish people. However, Finnish people a lot of the time are really, really quiet. And it doesn't necessarily suit someone so outgoing and chatty as me. So I have to say, since I was a kid, I didn't really feel like I fit in, and I was always striving for this adventure and going out and exploring the world. But something that I also did is I was a real geek, and I still am. I absolutely love studying. I love developing myself. I love personal, professional development. And without flattering myself, I was always striving to be the best in my class. Not necessarily to be the best, but I just wanted to always do my best. And I've always been a really hardworking student. And that's something that's always followed me all my life. So I can guarantee you that whatever I will be sharing with you today has been tried and tested in a number of ways with a number of people. And I will be sharing techniques with you that works. However, back to my childhood a little bit. What basically happened is I was really quite critical of my environment. Although Finland is amazing, I was looking at the world as an exciting opportunity. I just wanted to travel. I just wanted to go out there. And actually what I did is I started studying hospitality management, and I moved to Holland, the Netherlands, to begin with. Lived there for about a year or so, and I decided, you know what, this was so exciting that I'm going to move again. I'm going to start from scratch again, because that starting from the beginning had that kind of thrill, gave me that kind of thrill and excitement. And actually, when I was studying hospitality management in that school, I thought, you know what, I'm not very happy with the school. I paid a lot of money for it, and I had this kind of really quite critical viewpoint of what I was doing. So I decided I'll try another couple of schools in Europe. So I decided to move to France. So I moved to France and lived there for a couple of years again, studying, working, learned French as well. And I actually had a pretty good job as well. But I wasn't quite progressing. I didn't quite have the language skills quite enough to be at a higher position. So I was a bit stuck again. So guess what I did? I moved to Spain. I actually spoke a little bit of Spanish at that time as well. So this is a few years ago. So don't hold me to this, because I certainly don't remember much. Probably can just about order a tequila or a beer, but that's about it in Spanish. But basically I lived in Spain for about a year, again working, studying management studies, and I was getting really quite excited about this kind of thrill that starting from the beginning was giving me. But then I came to a point when I realized, you know what, I'm not progressing in my career because, there are a few things, language barrier, and I wasn't quite, getting the jobs that I wanted. So guess what I did? I moved again. I moved to the UK, and I lived in London for about a year, actually for about a year and a half, and wanted to finish my studies. So I wanted to finish my studies in hospitality management, but they said in London universities that my degree was such a mess from before that I would have to do all the studies again and pay an absolute fortune. So I decided I wasn't going to do that. So I was moving again. I was actually this time moving to Greece. I got a place in Athens, and I went to then celebrate my move in London. On that one day, I thought, you know what, I'm leaving again, new life, new exciting adventure, and went to the pub downstairs to celebrate. And then I met this very handsome man called David. Now, after a couple of weeks of meeting David, you know what, I decided I'm not moving to Athens after all. Can you believe it? I only met David a couple of times and I actually decided to stay in the UK. I moved to the Midlands, and since that time I have been here for about nearly 10 years now. Can you imagine? Nearly 10 years it's been. So it was a real key life change for me at the time when I met him. You never know what opportunities there are around the corner. But what happened to me is I moved to the Midlands and I started studying again, started working, but I faced the same problem. I wasn't progressing. I was really critical. I was really critical of my environment, of everywhere I was working, and constantly just had this moaning. Oh, it was raining all the time, and it's this and this and that. And you know, I actually, instead of starting to, and I was blaming the country once again. I said, it's the country's fault I'm not progressing in my career. It's this and it's that. And actually, I even started developing a few businesses. So I started a bit of network marketing, sold a bit of products here and there, did a bit of training programs, stuff like that. And nothing was quite working. It was a bit random. I was just trying a little bit of everything and anything. And I didn't quite feel like I belonged. And I made a horrible mistake. I actually started blaming my partner. I blamed my partner for not progressing in my career. Well, not in those words, but I said, it's because of you I am here. It's because of you that I am stuck in my career, and I kept insisting on moving away again. And you know what? I started to realize, my God, there was this horrible pattern. And I only realized it when I literally almost break down my most important relationships. My most important relationship was with my partner, or is with my partner, but then many other relationships too, friends, family, and I was just banging my head against the wall. And I actually, a few other things happened, and certain underlying issues from my childhood started coming out. I don't know what in the world was going on with me, but I actually became quite depressed. I had a mixture of depression and anxiety, and everything was just so overwhelming, and I just couldn't get anything done. And I was so negative for a period of a couple of years, and it was really starting to affect me so badly. But then I realized something had to change. I had had enough of the same stuff, and I knew that not moving elsewhere isn't going to be the solution. I realized that it wasn't me who had to change. It wasn't the environment that had to change. It was me who had to change. I had to change my approach and my attitude towards my environment, and I finally got an amazing coach. Somehow I got in touch with this amazing woman called Zoe, and she helped me. She truly opened my eyes. And this was about 5-6 years ago. She opened my eyes to realize that I could do whatever I wanted in life. And I just had to hear that from someone. And I heard this from her. She helped me create this belief in myself and actually go through this process that I'm now going to share some of those strategies with you today, but also in future sessions, that it's really, you can live the life that you desire. You absolutely can. And I took the bull by the horns, and I started to actually do some crazy stuff. I started doing a lot of adventurous, thrill-seeking sports. Anyway, as you can see there, that was probably one of the most horrendous things, and at the same time most exciting things I've done. But seriously, life is meant for living. And actually what I did is, my 15-year career in hospitality management, I transformed completely to career and development and education, because I was so passionate about seeing people succeed in my management roles, and I had these opportunities to help people overcome anything that is stopping them from achieving their true success at work. And me being such a geek as well, I was passionate about educating people on concepts and theories and management theories that I had been studying over the years, and really educating and developing myself. But there was that one thing that was missing from myself to make my career success, which was the mindset that I had to have, and seeing my career, seeing the opportunities in my environment, rather than constantly resenting my environment. I realized it is there for me to take advantage of it. And after years of working in education and training, first as a teacher, did some mentoring, and then I did a lot of coaching and career development, workplace coaching. I started coaching workplace managers. I started delivering qualifications in management, and then I even went to work in the prison. Can you imagine? I went to work in the prison as a teacher, whereas before I used to criticize my environment so much for being so negative and horrible, and the whole world was against me, and all that stupid self-pity or that negativity that I had when I actually then went to work in the prison, which is probably the roughest place in the world. But I realized my environment had nothing to do with my success. My environment had nothing to do with my success. It's what I do with my environment and how I use those opportunities. And now it's your turn to use your environment, to use your resources properly, to create the life that you truly want. And after years of trying different businesses here and there and everywhere, I discovered that I had to develop my business based on my true skills and strengths and my passion for helping people succeed. And I absolutely have been able to do that. I now deliver a variety of different types of workshops at colleges, universities, businesses, and a range of organizations as well to help them with their career development and employee development and leadership development.